Hello, and welcome to our Agent to Agent series with Deb and Lou. Today we begin a three-part mini-series on agent attraction with a very special guest. Lou, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, Deb, I think the best way to start this series off with is to talk to the person that attracted us to eXp. So let's bring Gene Frederick into the conversation.
Awesome. Sounds good. Stay tuned. Here we go. All right, here we are in our Zoom meeting with our special guest.
Hello, Gino. I want to introduce you today. This series Deb wanted to do on attraction. We thought the best way to get going on this is to deal with the top of the best attractors and the person that brought us to eXp and all the great things that you've shared with me. And we thought we'd just have an open discussion and just talk about some of the things you've taught me and shared with me at the beginning and actually all along. It keeps changing. So I want to introduce Gene Frederick. He's on the board of directors for eXp. He's the reason Deb and I joined eXp. He's our dear, dear friend, along with his wife, Susan, who we've known for probably 18 years now in the real estate business. And we're just excited to be in business with you again, Gene. And thanks for being on this Zoom meeting with us to talk about this. So why don't you share with everybody just a little bit about your story and then this whole attraction thing, because it means a lot to a lot of different people, I think. And like Deb's trying to do is narrow it down into three different segments so people can really understand it.
Well, I think, Lou, and you and I have been friends for a long time, and we were regional directors at another company and team leaders and managers. And if you've been in the business as long as Lou has, not me, but Lou, no. I've been in the business 35 years. And I think what happened to me 5.5 years ago is I felt like I just found something that I knew was going to be the future of real estate. At that time, the company had about 400 agents. And I owned 6 different franchises. I owned 6 offices in a region. And it was really funny. I called Lou first. I mean, Lou's one of my best buddies. And I said, Lou, I got to tell you, I think I found Netflix. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, if you knew Netflix, Netflix existed, would you own a Blockbuster? And he says, no. And I said, guess what? I just found it. And what I mean by that is this. The industry has never had a big change. Our real estate industry has always been broker owned, broker driven, owners, right, Lou? And I was one of them. I owned 6 offices. And then I found a company started by Glenn Sanford and when I talked to Glenn, he and I hit it off right, because I said, Glenn, what's the most important thing to you? And he goes, the agents. I mean, literally, he said, the agents. I said, that's me too. We don't do anything without agents. He goes, well, why don't we make the agents our partner? That's a difference, Lou. Rather than the owner always telling the agent what to do, here's your commission split and everything. Why don't we make them our partner and we'll go together? I said, Glenn, you have me. How do you do that? And he goes, well, we've got stock. We've got a corporation. Now, here's what's funny, guys. 5.5 years ago, I always tell people, the company, the stock was real. It was a pink sheet. It was like Wolf on Wall Street, and it was 18 cents a share 5.5 years ago when I met Glenn. Guess what happened? I researched it. 5 months later, I come back. I said, Glenn, this is real. Common shares. You mean you're going to give common shares in a corporation? He goes, yes. Boom. I said, you've changed the industry forever. Because agents don't have equity, Lou. Agents don't, they really aren't the partner in their whoever they're with, right?
Yeah.
Guess what? By the time I made the decision to join, it was 30 cents a share. I thought I blew it. It went 18 cents to 30. Woo! And now, of course, in May of 2018, we got uplisted to the NASDAQ. So we're so bona fide right now. And of course, you can check out our stock, EXPI. We own 2 things, eXp Realty and Verbella. And with that pandemic that's just happened as we're filming this, we had no idea this doggone pandemic was going to happen, right, guys? It has made driving into your real estate office, right? Well, guess what? The real estate office is closed. We can't go in. So now they're going, how do we work? Lou, we've been working like this for 10 years in a virtual environment. When I say virtual, I mean we actually go in as avatars and work. But anyway, I'm excited to talk to you guys today because, Lou, I told you 5 years ago, and that I wasn't going to do it without you and Deb. And I said, if we're going to start something, if we're going to start a Netflix, let's go do it. Let's go do it together. Let's go help agents. Let's go help agents be our partner, and let's go do it together.
So I love the best thing you told me. You said, because agent attraction was the thing I was into. I didn't really understand the stock.
Yep.
You know, everything else about the technology was cool. But, you know, I was looking, where's this going to really work with building this company and sharing and rev share? And I remember distinctly, you told me to go play team leader.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the best advice you could have given me for two reasons. One, I understood what you meant. And two, it gave me a focus to work the business. Because as you know, Debbie runs the real estate side of this. She does her buying and selling, plays icon, and does a great job at it. And for me, this was going to have to grow this, but it's tricky. And now for you and I, it's easy because we've done this. We worked together on this, we've done this. But what can you share to help agents that are maybe reluctant about this, that don't want to bug another agent? I know you talk to people every day and get great insight on this.
Well, you know, it's the first time in our industry that agents are allowed to go attract other agents. Really, when you think about it, you could attract somebody. When I was at Remax in the 80s, I attracted people to Remax. I didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might have got a gift card. I might have got a Starbucks card or something. But I mean, I didn't really get the money off the top that usually goes to the regional owners. You know, that little thing called royalty usually goes to the regional owners off the top. This was the first time when I saw it. Glenn said, we're going to take some part of that money and give it to the agents that help us grow. Well, Lou, that's what you and I did. That's why we related so well. I said, Lou, we just got to do what we did as team leaders, help agents come to our company and help them get very productive. First of all, we make them productive. That's the biggest misnomer. We get them into production.
Yep.
We're over 90% this year. Year to year, we're up 90% in closed volume and 70% in closed units.
Wow.
It's crazy. So, but for an agent, all I want you to think of is this. I think this is a good way to look at it. All your life, I don't know about Deb does more than this, but as an agent, most of the time I said, why don't you try to sell 2 buyers a month, get 2 listings. And they go, yeah, that's what I do. I get 2 listings and 2 buyers. I said, why don't we just add one thing to that? Why don't you attract 2 agents? It's just a goal.
And you know what, Gene? I saw something today on Workplace that came from you. It was a quote from you as the icebreaker and that conversation starter with an agent. Maybe you're co-oping with whatever, but it's, please tell me about yourself.
Right.
Right?
Well, the first thing you do is it's all about them. Here's what I will tell agents. When you take a listing, what do? It's all about the seller. Right? What do you do with a buyer? It's all about the buyer.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden I tell people, I want you to go get in relationship with 2 agents. And they go, what do I say? And I said, well, tell me about yourself. How's the business? How's your life? And they go, and I go, now this is going to be really hard for you. You've got to be quiet. You do it with sellers, you do it with buyers, and now all of a sudden you're talking to your buddies over at another company and you go, oh, I got to tell you about eXp. And you start talking and I go, no, tell me about yourself and be quiet and listen. The people that, by the way, everybody in life, and Deb, you know this, on listings, you win the game if you ask good questions.
Mm-hmm.
You find out why they want to move, right? And I try to relate it to listings because most people go, you know, or even with a buyer, why do you want to live in Brighton? Why do you want to live in this neighborhood? Why? You know, and you get to the root. Well, my kid needs special needs. I need a school that has, you know, whatever it is, or I want to live near the synagogues or the church. When I sold real estate, there was always the reason they were moving to that town. And then we get over on attraction, Lou, and all of a sudden we want to just spew.
Yeah, puke on them.
I call it spew and eXp. And I talk to agents and they go, oh, no, I don't do that. And then I go on I listen to them and they go, well, let me tell you. And I go, no, tell me about yourself. Be quiet. and listen.
Listen.
It's the number one thing you got to do. It's hard for real estate agents sometimes. They do it when they're working with sellers and buyers. And then all of a sudden we're on the attraction side and they go, what do I do? And I said, what'd you do with buyers and sellers?
Mm-hmm.
It's no different, guys. But here's the cool thing. Here's the best part. It is different because those two agents can turn into two more agents, could turn into two more agents. And we've got a 7-level system. And when I tell you this, it's brilliant. If you know compounding, if you know anything about duplication, I've only attracted 100 people to eXp, and those 100 people have turned into thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Because 100 on the first level and then it goes down. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely different now than it was when we first talked. As you know, I had to wait a couple of years before I could join, and it was still a small company. There was half dozen agents in Michigan when Debbie joined, and now we're at over 1,000. I can tell you from my conversations and all the times I've gotten to see you talk to agents and do events for us when you fly in the winter ice storms, because you like Michigan in the winter. You're the only crazy person I know that doesn't like the warm weather. And the conversation, I think, that is a little bit different now because people know who eXp is. Mm-hmm. So I can see what you're saying, that I made that mistake. I talk too much. I get all excited about it. But that pause, what you said, and listen is so very important. And I think I always remember because we've been through so much together, buddy. There was always that whole thing with Mahatma Gandhi that they said first they ignore you. I experienced that. You did. People thought you were crazy, that you left and sold everything you had, as successful as you were. And did what you did. They thought you were crazy. And then all of a sudden, now we've got the, first it was they forget you or pretend they don't know you. And then all of a sudden they make fun of you. We've gone through that together so far. And now I think out of the 4 stages, we're at the fight stage. Because they're competing. They're saying, hey, you don't want this or that. And I think for agents, they need to understand something. They need to know, first of all, our group, they can contact me and we talk to them. Sometimes these three-party calls, you do so many Zooms and calls with people. I've lost track. So many people that you've helped in the company. But I do think that agents need to understand that we're doing this together, and there's a reason we do it together. You alluded to it earlier with the 7 levels. Again, back to the analogy, you said go play team leader. Without any boundaries. There's no geographic boundaries. So we got people all over the place, and we definitely spend a lot of time attracting on there. And a lot of times, Gene, I tell people, just make the introduction. Remember the old days, team leader walked down the hall, hey, anybody you're talking to, you do a deal with them. Let me talk to them. Say, hey, so-and-so says you're a great agent and I need to know you. And then I can step in and just say, hey, tell me about yourself. Tell me what you like, what do you like about your broker and all that stuff. So, but don't you feel that right now we're kind of at that, the numbers, our shareholder meeting was unbelievable last week. You guys put together such a great event with the staff and so many cool things that happened. But so we're growing, we're doing good. They're taking us serious now. Now we're a competitor. When you're a competitor and they respect you, which I think they do, they're being more aggressive back at us and pushing back. So we got to be better on our game, and our agents have to be better on their game on their messaging. Don't you think?
Well, I think the number one reason, and by the way, when I was talking about, I related to real estate, it is different. I want you to know that you guys have us to work with you. Mm-hmm. Just imagine if you went on a listing, but you had us to go with you if you needed us. Because a lot of agents go, oh, I got to do everything myself. I've got to do all the attraction myself. No. That's why I'm on Zooms. I was on 10 Zooms the other day because I'm here to help explain it. We're talking to brokers all the time, top agents. Brokers are calling us like crazy right now, Lou. Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, while we're taping this, I got to tell you, just yesterday morning, our founder, Glenn Sanford, was on Fox Business.
With Stu Varney.
Yep. And Stu asked him, and Stu goes, what is this deal? And Glenn goes, we've been using it for 10.5 years. We've got 29,000 agents. And he didn't say agents, he said employees, right? He just said 29,000 of us are using this platform. Oh my gosh, Lou, that blew me away. I mean, here we are. We've made it.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I've been at other companies. I never saw my CEO on Fox Business saying we've got a different platform to work from. See, that's what I knew. That's what I saw 5 years ago. This is a different platform. I tell people we're not thinking outside the box as far as a real estate brokerage. We are a whole new box.
Yep.
Just so you know, everybody else is at Blockbuster. We're at Netflix using streaming video. And really, our streaming video is called Verbella. And I want you guys to check it out. If you see this thing, oh my gosh, we are rocking right now. You guys have no idea how crazy our company is going to be. And all our real estate agents that have stock in a company that has Verbella and a real estate company. Oh.
Yes.
So I'm excited. You know, agents just need to get after it. And then I'll teach them what I want them to do. I want you to know we're going to put your arms around you. Don't feel like you're alone. We can help you. We can help you. Oh, what do I say here? Just call me. I'll tell you. I have meetings every single week where we go over scripts and dialogues and help agents because they've just never attracted agents before. That's all.
So what do you tell the agents now? I've heard this also. They say, oh, 29,000 agents. I missed it. How dumb am I? The stock's at $9 a share. It used to be 18 cents. You know, there used to be Deb and I, our number is 877. We joined at 877 and we're kind of excited about that. And I remember then thinking, oh, man, I should have been here 2 years ago. And you hear that and you would say,
well, I would say, well, number one, we're going to 1 million realtors.
No, come on. That's what people would be blown away by that, Gene.
Let me tell you why. I just got off the phone before I got with you, Lewis, with our international director. And he says, it is going to be simple for us to get there. He says, I said, why? And he says, do you understand the other brands have 2 to 3 times the agents outside the United States?
Wow.
Every single brand does. Wow. And I didn't realize that when I was talking to him. And I said, so if we get 100,000 agents in the US, he says, oh my gosh, he says, we'll have 900,000 somewhere else.
Wow.
And I went, I like you, Michael Valdez. I mean, by the way, I mean, you know, when I say that 29,000 to 1 million, we're going there. How long it's going to take, I don't know. The other thing I say when they say, well, your stock's $8 a share, $9 a share. Oh, you're going to funny. Lou, I looked it up 6.5 years ago. Netflix was $8 a share. 6.5 years ago. Look it up when you see this podcast. It's $455 a share.
Wow.
So who was telling Netflix, oh, your stock's only $8 a share?
Yeah. Yeah.
All I'm doing is, I don't know where we're going, but I got news for you. We have streaming video. It's called Verbella. It's not called streaming video. It's called Verbella. And we're the only real estate company using it.
That's exciting too. Really is. So just to kind of bundle this up real quick, and, you know, part of the other thing with the attraction is, you know, they don't have to, it's like anything else, you know, where do you start somebody? Did you tell them a minimum number? Hey, look, this is where you want to be at, and just to get started and feel good about it and feel some money coming in. Is there a minimum number that you share? I mean, I
usually really good agents, you know, they'll do 10, 20, 30 transactions a year, right? Yeah. A really good agent. And I said, look at you, that's 10, 20, 30 chances at another agent, at another company. And I said, do you think we couldn't get maybe 3 a year? And in 2 years, we could have 6. And I think everybody says, oh, I could do that. And I said, well, I'll help you. My minimum goal is usually about 3 a year. And then if they get 3 a year, they'll be 6 after 2 years. Those 6, if they get 1 apiece, that'll be 6 on their second level. Just with that, Lou, just with that, it's very conservative. If they're all cappers, that's $36,000 a year or $3,000 a month.
Wow.
So it's so simple, and agents go, you're kidding. And I said, now that's residual, Lou. Let me tell you, with this pandemic, let's face it, there's some people freaking out. In fact, there's some states that were non-essential. What does that mean? What in the heck could real estate? a roof over your head ever be non-essential? You've got
Yes.
to be kidding me.
Right.
True.
That just made no sense to me. Well, when you think about it, some people couldn't sell real estate for 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what happened? A lot of our-
Michigan was there. We couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look at your rev share. Your rev share that you've accumulated and built is a stream of income coming in, whether you sell homes or not.
And last month, it was the highest we ever had for the month of April. And the other company where I got what they call the profit share, I got $13 or something. It was minimal because they decided to quit putting it out. So, I mean, this is so sustainable and so put together well and thought out that even in a really unpredictable time like a pandemic, eXp is just doing great. The company's doing good. We got money in the bank and we're growing, and that's exciting. You made me think of one quick story maybe we can end this on. Talk about you and Nicole. When Nicole decided to jump in, she's got a great story, and maybe you want to share that with everybody because.
Well, that's a good one because when it's personal, it's my daughter Nicole, and at the time I did this 5 years ago, she had her real estate license. She was a part-time realtor, a full-time mom, and single, and had a really good paying job, right? Just like anybody working real estate, just part-time.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at this, and I showed her, and she literally said, Gene, I quit and I come work with you. So it's been 5 years. I'm going to fast forward. By the way, she's had another child, and thank heaven she found her beautiful husband, Brian. Now she's married. She's got 2 beautiful kids. But it's been 5 years, and about 3 of those 5 years, she was involved in getting married, pregnant, having the child. So she's worked with me for about 2.5 years, I'd say, of the 5 years. And she's making between $15,000 and $20,000 a month. She's never been a recruiter before or an attractor. Nope. She's never really sold real estate at a high level. That's a big myth. Mm-hmm. You just have to ask people. And she's accumulated this, and she goes, oh my gosh. And her husband, Brian, who used to work for a big corporation, got to quit his job and get into real estate, which is what he wanted to do. I mean, it's just freeing. The options you have when you start making $15,000 to $20,000 a month on a regular basis. Yeah. Let that sink in for everybody, because most realtors can't say that. They make a lot of money and then they don't make money, and they make a lot of money and they, it's a roller coaster, right? It's a hamster wheel. But when you get that base in, and by the way, she's selling real estate. Her husband's selling real estate. It's a big myth. She's enjoying the business.
So I'll leave it with this. We could talk for an hour. You got so many great stories and things I've heard and remember while we talk. What are the 2 things real estate agents do really well?
They do extremely well. They spend all their money and don't pay their taxes. We're experts at that. And I'm on a mission. I'm seriously, Lou, you know this. You know me. I know you guys. We're on a mission to help real estate agents. That's my big why. Everybody says, well, why'd you do everything? I said, I didn't do it for me. I didn't do it really for Nicole even. I did it for agents to get out of the rat race and have a constant level of income that they can rely on. Yeah. We've got it.
Right.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works. It's funny. I told somebody yesterday, I was in a meeting that you're aware of and we're in part of. And I said, you guys got to understand, the hardest person for me to attract was the other person in this Zoom meeting, because she's been through real estate with me. Yep. And I said, for Debbie to get involved and do what she's done and check it out. I mean, let's face it, Gene, you guys are very close friends of ours, and you and Susan have such an impact in our personal lives and business. This kind of is all part of it, but that was not an easy sell. You know her real well too, and know that she asked a lot of tough questions, and I think that's what's nice about the 3 of us here doing this video real quick, is we're there to help other people, to help them do that, because quite frankly, you helped me with attracting Deb.
No, that was probably Susan. That was probably Susan. It wasn't me. But I am glad Susan did it.
Yes. We're grateful for you both.
Well, thank you guys.
We should wrap it up, and we can't thank you enough, Gene, for your time today. I know you're doing this all the time, but we sure appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Gino.
Enjoy. Take
Wow,
care.
that's typical Gene. High energy. He's not lost a bit of it since the 5 years when he first joined the company and started his journey with eXp. He's just a great ambassador, great person to talk to, and no better person to really get focused on agent attraction than Gene. We appreciate you, Gene. We thank you for your friendship. We thank you for bringing us this great company, and we look forward to our next conversation with you.
And we thank you for joining us today for part 1 of our 3-part series on agent attraction. Take care. Welcome to Agent with Deb and Lou. I'm Deb, this is Lou Ronayne, and we're married and considered a domestic team at eXp Realty. And in our business, I typically focus on sales, and Lou focuses mainly on agent attraction, although we do crisscross and do the whole picture. So Lou has attracted just under 500 people to eXp, and let's find out how he's done that.
Well, actually, yeah, we're just under 500 in our total rev share group. We have 25 people that we put in our first level, and we've done it over a period of 3 years. And I start out by telling agents the most important thing to do is be a good real estate agent.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is when you're doing a co-op deal, when you're in a transaction, when you're, publicly, connecting with other agents at functions and that, be professional, be nice, be approachable, just be, real. Don't try to be stuck up or try to think that you're the best person in the room for whatever volume you do, because here's what happens. If you're going to be somebody that's unapproachable and you're going to be somebody that's not really somebody that people want to talk to or had a trouble deal with, if you have a bad deal with somebody and they're just very difficult to work with and unprofessional, why in goodness name would they ever want to take your phone call to talk about eXp?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Be the agent the other agents want to work with, because that's going to also help you win bidding wars and get deals put together.
Exactly. So it's just all comes down to being professional. And I just want to say one more thing on that. Return phone calls. Don't just text. Have conversations with people. You have to build relationships. I've been in the business 37 years, and I've been with 3 other major companies as well as a couple independents over that career, and I've always tried to maintain a good relationship with agents, always. In fact, a lot of times we end up being friends with agents that we work with and that because we're all so busy working all the time and we see everybody all the time. It's not like a regular business where you go in 9 to 5. And so you're always on duty. You're always on duty to attract new clients. You're always on duty to attract new agents that you get to know that hopefully someday would see that eXp is a great opportunity for them and that you would be named as their sponsor. And it's just not going to happen if you're not the kind of person they want to hang around with or do business with, like Deb said. Right. So start out with that. It's very, very, very important.
They have to know you and they have to respect you.
So the other thing too is get involved. Probably around 2000, I was involved in several fronts with the board. I was a board realtor on the board of directors for our local association. I was on the MLS governance committee where I was a governor on that. And then I proceeded to get elected and be on the Michigan Association of Realtors board of directors. What's that done? Well, first of all, it allowed me the opportunity to give back to the great organization that's made our business be what it is. The way we transact, the way the MLS is run, the way they enforce ethics and everything that we do with National Association of Realtors, it all comes down on a local level. The other side of it was not only just giving back, but it allowed me to meet more people. People that are involved in committees, that are involved in the board. Those people usually have a higher degree of professionalism and really pride and caring about the business that we're in, that they want to help make our organization even better. So those are good people to connect with and get to know. I have people that have joined us that I have year relationships with over the years. It's not something that just happens right away. You meet somebody and it's like trying to get a listing, right? You're not gonna end up with talking to somebody on, say, a for sale by owner, and you're gonna make a phone call and say, oh wow, great, Lou called me, so I'm gonna list my house with him. It doesn't happen that way. You're gonna build a rapport, and agents are even more important to do that with. They've got to know that you have value or something that's worth listening to. And again, by getting to know people and organizations that we're already affiliated with, it's a great way to connect with people, so they get to know you and know how you feel about the industry in general. So
Absolutely. So people must know you and respect you, be connected, stay connected, understand that you're playing the long game. So you're not just going to walk up to somebody at a function and say, hey, why don't you come to eXp, join me, and expect them to jump on board. It's not how it happens. People do their research just like buyers research homes and real estate. Realtors research real estate companies. So that's kind of like the background. Now, how do you do a hands-on approach on a day-to-day basis?
well, on a day-to-day basis, it's first of all, you got to be very purposeful in what you're doing. So my day's planned out. I use a CRM, and I go through to see what I have to do, what calls I have to connect with. I do texting, I send videos, I do that, but it's already after having a relationship with somebody and contacting with them. The one thing that, hey, we all love this company, and the opportunity that Glenn has given us with the stock and with the rev share, it's unmatched by anybody in the industry. So I understand we're all excited about it, but you can't overdo it. You can't send bulk emails out and just harass people, because they're gonna be turned off by it. They're not only gonna be turned off by you, but they're gonna be turned off on the company and not want anything to do with us. They've already labeled you like you're some multi-level marketing company, and I went through that with the last company I was at. It's like a phase. People equate 7 levels of revenue share that all of a sudden, you're a multi-level marketing. It's not that at all. It's nowhere near that. We have something of value, but it's all on how you are perceived and how you send the message. And so I spend the day talking to people, reaffirming things with people. Make sure that your LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you post your background, your resume, wherever you have your biography about who you are and what you are, make sure that it's complete, professional looking, and detailed, so that you can have people check you out. They do that. I've been on LinkedIn. I don't even know how many people on LinkedIn are in our group now, but I get a notice because people say, hey, so-and-so checked it out. They looked. And so make sure that everything professionally you can be doing, including your social media, not being overly ambitious and ignorant, or no, I shouldn't say ignorant, no, but obnoxious or something, fighting someone on politics, or there's some really great blogs and stuff that you can connect with real estate wise, and I read some of the stuff people say in there, and it's not very attractive.
It's not pretty. It gets pretty ugly. So, you want to build a relationship, you want to be professional, you want to stay in that relationship, and just always be positive. And obviously you're very passionate about eXp. Share that passion, because that's what people want to hear. Why and how and what. Why are you this passionate about the company you're at? Why did we even come here in the first place? So those are real stories, and that's what people like to hear.
Well, and I'll leave it, let's end it on this, because it's probably the best advice that I can give anybody. Just ask great questions and sit back and listen to their answers. It's not about eXp, it's not about you, it's about them. You need to find out what they're succeeding at, what they're struggling with, what they like about the business, what they like about their current broker. That's all part of building a really good relationship with somebody. But you've got to listen, you've got to ask good questions. A lot of the books I read during the pandemic, the last 2 months, have all been about that, about asking questions, about figuring out what other people's needs are. I've been over and over the years been complimented by many people. Debbie especially always says I'm a servant leader. You've got to be that way in your approach because, and I'm telling you, this is the same advice. You would become a better realtor if you ask better questions, if you care, you're empathetic. Your client's going to read that and understand that, and they're not going to feel like, oh my gosh, this guy just wants to list my house, or oh my gosh, he's being nice to me and connecting with me all of a sudden and liking all my Facebook posts just because he wants me to name him as a sponsor. People are smarter than that. So be smart, be professional, and be genuine and ask good questions. And good luck to you. You're going to do great. This is the best gift that anybody's ever given to the real estate industry. Go get your fair share. Do it professionally and enjoy the journey, because getting in business with really good, high quality people makes you a better person, a better realtor, and a happier person. I know that we've been very blessed to have such great people in our group that, give us energy and bring us happiness just because of who they are, not because they're in our group.
You become family.
Yeah,
You become
absolutely.
family, and it's a joy to work together. So I think that's it for part 2. In part 3, we're going to discuss how we maintain and how we support the agents we attract. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Agent to Agent.
Thank you.
Welcome to Agent with Deb and Lou. Today is part 3 of our 3-part series on agent attraction, and we're focusing on how we maintain and support the wonderful group of agents we've brought to eXp. To date, Lou has brought just under 500, and let's talk about all the many things you do to keep in constant touch with everybody and offer them support in so many ways.
Well, thanks, Deb. I'd love to. I always like to clarify that, though. Our group's total 500, and we've helped with a lot of instances with help bringing these other people on board and talking about the eXp story and how we do things. And the big thing is support. It really is, because one of the challenges I think we have with being cloud-based, people's perception is that they don't get support. They're used to going in an office and feel all warm and cozy and just, be able to see their manager or get training or whatever, and they think, oh geez, if you're in the cloud, I'm going to be by myself, I'm not a good self-starter. So it's really important to have a strategy, a plan, and a process of what you do. So let's start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. We're very blessed to be brought into the company by Gene and Susan Frederick. If you've seen any other videos we've done, they're our close friends and the reason that we're at eXp. So our group has a really great onboarding staff that just helps get them going and make the experience not being nervous because they don't understand everything to feeling really, really plugged in right away.
They just hold their hand through the whole process of onboarding.
So thanks for Gene for putting that together. It was really smart. But the other thing I got to tell you, the advantage I've had from the beginning, is Gene and I were running other companies together, and Gene's has got such great ideas. He came to me and said, look, he says, we're going to do this together, and this is how you're going to succeed. Go play team leader. Go play team leader. Love on the people. Be yourself. Be connected with them. And what that means is you've got to really do what you say. You've got to promise them what you're going to do, but you've got to be there to support them and help them and walk through this. So what does that look like in our world? Well, Deb and I both are brokers. And we have a wonderful state broker, Cheryl Miller, and she's doing a great job, but she has 1,000 people now that she's overseeing with her staff, and they're all busy all the time. So I always tell everybody, I said, look, with our group, here's one thing you're gonna get. We answer our telephone. Now, obviously we don't all wanna work 12-hour days and always be at someone's beck and call, but when it comes to our agents, we do answer our call, any call, anytime they have, within reason.
Right.
And usually it's about a broker question or something that we can help. Now, we don't have the authority to play broker, but we do have the experience of being brokers. Deb writes great contracts. We help them with that. We do trainings with that. We share our best practices with everybody and how they do their marketing and that. So we really have a system in place to connect everybody so that we feel close to each other, even though we're not in a regular office working in a bricks and mortar office face to face all the time. So that's very, very, very important. So first, it's being able to play broker and help them. And again, we all been there. It's 8 o'clock at night. When we're done with this, we got to go write an offer where there's multiple offers. So you want to be able to have somebody to run your offer by and make sure that we're not missing anything. And so we end up being that person that they run their stuff by. So.
We are always available for the contract help and buyer help and just those questions that come up when, they happen. And we're not closed all weekend, so our agents aren't waiting till Monday morning to get help with figuring out a problem and solving a problem.
Mm-hmm. So that's a big thing, and Deb's always helping them with technology support and different other things. And mostly what we've done is we have a cloud office that we have, and it's available to everybody that's in our revenue share group. And we meet there. We have a meeting in another place every week, and we try to get it. We don't want people dependent on us. We want to be there as an asset, as somebody there to support. But we spend a lot of time with best practices, the best way to do things, the best way to perform a certain job or doing your marketing. And everybody shares. Everybody is open about that, and it really is pretty dynamic because nobody has all the answers, but together everybody does. And so we've really, really enjoyed watching that part of it, networking, sharing. We encourage them to give us names. I help, talk to agents all the time for them to try to help build their revenue share group so that they can experience this. But that's the big thing is we do a lot of things at Zoom meetings. We do a lot of Zoom meetings. More so now we're in the cloud office because the 2 months that we're shut down in Michigan for this pandemic shelter in place, I thought was a real gift in two ways. One, eXp is on the radar now of many companies. They were on Fox and one of the news programs with Glenn on there. And it's allowed us as agents to say, you know what, I need to understand that better, use the interactive boards and stuff in the meeting rooms. And it's been a really, I think, a positive for me to learn more about all that stuff and to be able to do that. So we do that with Zooms and that. We have a lot of our CRM. We do a lot of texting with that, even reminding people of when our meetings are so that they can show up if they can be there. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to think here. We do the in-person meetings together. I'm looking forward to those again. We've been away from that. We do a lot of lunch and learns. We've done those on and off different places. But I'll tell you.
And we bring guest speakers.
We
bring surprise guests into our weekly meetings that can offer they've offered great ideas on all kinds of subjects. We had Don Hobbs.
Don Hobbs, the great,
marketing,
the famous Don Hobbs.
The famous Don Hobbs. Of course, Gene has been with us. And we have some more planned in the near future.
Yep. A couple other
Good
people
stuff.
coming in to show that.
Yep.
So here's what you're going to find, you guys. We've got a wealth of talented people in the company. And so when you have a cloud experience where you're having an office and you're meeting and you're doing a huddle, whatever you want to call it, and you can bring these people in from all over the country. You can bring these great guests from all over the country that normally they couldn't done that. So we did that.
We also have our own private group on Workplace, the Revenue Express, and we post meeting reminders there. We post important information. We don't post the same thing everybody's getting from the state, or we're not duplicating efforts, but we're posting items that are pertinent to our agents, making sure they have the latest, greatest, documents or addenda that are coming out, like with the COVID thing and everything, and just making sure they know when to use these. So we're protecting them, so they protect their clients. And so that the workplace private group has been a really good resource too, to keep in touch. And we post some fun things there too, because everybody needs a laugh.
Oh yeah, and you're good at that. You've always, usually I'm the butt of her jokes. That reminds me though, but we've had some really excellent leaders in our group. Two of them, Jackie Bowman and her husband Ryan, and Dave Best down in Ohio. And every Tuesday, for as long as I can remember, they have a Revenue Express mastermind at best practices that's only focused on that. Dave discusses Tim Ferriss's book, Tools for Titans, and takes a story out of there of one of the people that wrote in, and we discuss that and how it applies to revenue and building your revenue and your rev share group. And it's been really, really productive and really good. And that's something that's so fun to be part of, because we've seen other people rise up and do some great things in the company that before might have been a little quiet and not as involved. Jackie's great. She's on the agent, a leadership board. She's one of the members there. She's a great representative for all of us in there. She's big in coaching. She's a great, excellent coach, and she's encouraged us to get into video more. She was one of the first people I know that's really focused on that and been successful with that with our agent attraction. And again, that's another thing that everybody can be doing and posting. We have a YouTube channel.
Yep.
So.
And we're posting these types of videos, training videos that we hope are helpful.
And so everybody can be doing that, because then they're going to go back, and here's what happens that I've learned is that they feel like they've gotten to know you a little bit. We're doing these videos. We're not scripted in the way that everything is, perfect the way it is. We make a few mistakes when we're talking and that, because we're talking from our heart and what's on our mind when we're doing these. But Deb was asked to do a lot of this back because she's an Icon agent, and there's requirements of Icon agents in order to get the stock that they're allowed to earn and do in production, but mostly in giving back. So this is part of giving back and sharing that we've been doing to help everybody. So here's the thing. It's very competitive, this whole revenue attraction thing. It's very competitive. But guess what? There's a lot of agents out there. There is, 1,500,000 agents in the U.S. We're at 30,000 agents right now. And guess what? Gene keeps saying we're going to be 1 million agents. And I believe him, because worldwide we're going to be. So you just need to be able to have a plan. Call us. I mean, I'd be happy to share with you or critique what you're doing and give you my insight of what you need to do to make it better. I can't tell you how many people I've had coffee with or lunch with that weren't even part of my group or that we sponsored all the time. Because we believe in giving back, and the more you give, the more you're going to receive. And that's definitely happened with us. And we're grateful for it. We're grateful for the opportunity. But to be able to have a company that is so unique as this and allow us to do what we're doing is really it's special. And you need to treat it that way, and you need to be somebody that gives back. And we want, we talk about best practices on this. We all sign a pledge on attraction, but a lot of people break that pledge. They do things they're not supposed to do, and we try to just encourage everybody that we can within our group to just, if you do the right thing, it's always going to prevail over the long time. So, have a plan. Focus on it. It's very simple. It's no different than everybody tells you with your real estate business. Just make part of your day, part of your week, part of your year, part of your goals, a little thing called building my rev share group.
Time block.
Time block. Yeah, absolutely. And just go out and do it consistently and follow up, and you're going to be fine. And you're going to wake up one day and you say, oh my gosh, Steph, we have almost 500 people with us.
Just like that.
And guess what? We still got paid during the shutdown in Michigan. It's a real thing. How many people
Multiple
can say
streams
that?
of income.
Yeah, it's all about cash flow. When we looked at this, we said we want multiple streams of income, and our real estate business is phenomenal because of Debbie, but you know, we want other things too, and you know, this.
Well, let's recap. So
Okay.
on some of the things. So we hold a weekly meeting in the world, and we use a meeting room for that. We also have a Rev Express office with the state meeting rooms that we encourage all of our agents to use. We use a CRM for emails and different touches. We sometimes can get into texting, not a whole lot. There's social media. We have our workplace private group. We bring guests into eXp World, invite them to training. And we encourage our agents, this is part of the maintaining, encourage them to get to training. And we provide training as well. We've had our agents put on listing presentations, and we'll have one-on-ones or small groups with just learning how to comp a home.
Chris Dayton's deal too, when you guys did the whole.
We did a book review. Our wonderful, awesome agent Chris Dayton, who you may have seen here a couple episodes ago, he read this great book by Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference, all about negotiating, and we actually held a book club for our agents, and many of them purchased the book. Some of them now are taking the class, a master class online, which is a great way to do it. And every week we talked, and Chris led us, and we talked about 1 or 2 chapters in that, because you know, negotiating isn't taught in anything unless you go out and seek the training, and that's a large part of our job. So very, very important. So we're trying to point these things out and give these things to our agents. If we need to do private luncheons, we will do lunch and learn events, although that's not happening right now because we're still sheltering in place here in Michigan. And you've always said email's not very effective in any of this, but we do send out the meeting reminders each week for Jackie and Ryan and Dave Best's mastermind call that happens 9 o'clock Tuesday, and then it's followed by our meeting at 10. So the list goes on.
Yep. You just have to have a plan, and you have to implement it, and you have to stay true to it. One last thing I'll say: if we have one person show up to our meeting, we have the meeting.
That's a meeting.
If we have one person show up to a lunch and learn, that's the meeting. It's, you know, it's not about numbers. It's about people that show up and sharing their story or sharing your information that you're trying to do. So go out and do that. Hopefully this was helpful and you enjoyed this, and we enjoyed doing it for you. Feel free to call us anytime. We don't mind sharing.
We'll put our number up here
Yeah.
at the end. And thank you once again for joining us on Agent to Agent. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, thank you for watching all 3 parts of our Agent Attraction series. We hope you enjoyed them, and we hope you got a few pearls of wisdom from what Jean, Frederick, and Lou Ronayne had to share. So I want to share some slide notes with you, and feel free to take some notes, take some screenshots, but we think we have some powerful information for you here. So remember, with Agent Attraction, eXp is a very unique, very special company. And right now, especially right now, after what we've been through with the pandemic and sheltering in place and working from home and remote workers, our industry is moving rapidly from broker-owned to agent-owned out there. So, you know, we started eXp with agents as partners. So when you're an agent at eXp Realty, you actually own stock. So you are an owner. You are an agent owner. That is how we are an agent-owned company. And the whole premise, the whole idea of agents attracting agents is something new. And the other big thing with eXp Realty is we don't bring people in and let them sit. eXp Realty gets agents into production and gets them into production quickly. So how do you go about attracting agents and developing and putting together your own revenue share group? So you're already in the habit of getting 2 buyers and 2 listings per month, we hope. All you have to do is simply add getting 2 agents to your goals. Start conversations. As you're co-oping and working with other agents, talk to them, ask them about themselves. The easiest thing to say when you get together with somebody is tell me about yourself, and then listen, really, really listen and find out who they are and what they're about. You keep this up, and before you know it, you're going to be on your way to 7 levels with your own rev share group. Gene Frederick attracted 100 agents, just 100, and his revenue share group is in the thousands right now. So remember that you just need to make the introduction. When you're in our group with Lou and I and Gene Frederick, Lou and Gene are going to help you have the conversations with the agents you meet, okay? So you make the introduction, they'll take over and they'll start the conversations for you, and they're happy to do this. This is what they do. They're in the business of attracting. And remember that we're not thinking outside the box here. We're actually in a new box. That's what eXp is. Everybody's all about streaming video services right now. We've had one for many years. It's called Verbella, and that powers the cloud office where we work, and it's all live, and this is how we interact, and this is how we get our work done. And you will own stock in a company that is both real estate and technology. It's just not one, not the other, it's both. And right now that is extremely powerful. So how do you get agents to look your way and to be attracted to eXp and you? You got to start with being an excellent realtor. Always be professional, approachable, and genuine. Be the agent the other agents want to work with. It's really becoming commonplace, maybe not to return phone calls, not to answer calls, but don't be that way. Be professional. The way you treat your clients, giving them top-notch service, is the way you should treat other agents. And always be humble. You're out there to earn respect. It's not going to be given to you. You need to earn it. You want to build relationships along the way. How do you do that? Get connected. It's very easy to get connected in your board, your MLS, your state association, and all kinds of various committees at these organizations. And the funny thing is, when you give back, you're going to meet more people along the way, and that just opens up your sphere of influence. When it comes to agent attracting, remember you're playing the long game, and attraction can take a while. It can take months or it can take years. Always be purposeful in your attraction activities, time block, and make your phone calls. We highly recommend using a CRM, a contact relationship management tool, so you can set your reminders and you can make notes and easily communicate with the people in your sphere. And always remember, no mass emails, please, no harassing people to join under you. That's not the way we do it. Other ideas: keep your social media sites complete and up to date. Keep your social media posts professional. So no arguments, off-color jokes, or political rants, ever, ever. Share your passion and why you're at eXp. And again, we can't reiterate this enough. Ask great questions and listen. Ask the other agent, where is their success? Where are their struggles? And what are their needs? How do we maintain and support the agents we bring? Very important to Lou and myself. So we always strategize, we plan, and we implement. We also use a CRM for consistent communication. We offer all incoming agents a very personalized onboarding service. So our agents get plugged in and transition very quickly and efficiently. As associate brokers, Lou and I can answer agent questions on listings and purchase agreements. We can review offers. We love making ourselves available. And I can't tell you how often I help with verbiage and helping especially our newer agents get their contracts right and protect their clients. We host weekly meetings at eXp World, where, if you're available, please come, please join us. We love having these meetings. We focus on best practices. We offer training. We have guest speakers, and sometimes there's surprise guest speakers. We hold unique events in this weekly meeting. We recently had a book club that went on for several weeks on negotiating, something all of us need. It's a very large part of our job, but we don't get that training at real estate school. We also will hold in-person meetings. We'll have luncheons, and we do host lunch and learn events as well. And we offer a weekly mastermind session. We also have a private Revenue Express group on Workplace. And we offer our YouTube channel with consistently updated training materials. And we do encourage you to subscribe to that. Always remember, in your attraction attempts, stay true to the eXp Agent Attraction Pledge. You'll build your revenue share group, and you're going to enjoy multiple streams of income. So there you go. It's simple, but not always easy. But if you stick to the rules and the basics, you're going to do well. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. We're happy to answer you, and we wish you a great day. Thanks for joining us.